Okay, everyone. So today we will discuss certain special type of functions and how to count the number of functions. Okay, so we have already know that if there are n boolean variables, then total 2 raised to power 2 raised to power n boolean functions are possible. We have already know this result. How we can prove this result? Just suppose there are n boolean variables, so total number of possible input combination for these variables will be 2 raised to power n. Why 2 raised to power n? Because if there are n boolean variable, each variable can take two values. So this variable can take two value, this can take two values, so and all the n variables can take two values. So total possible combination for these variables will be 2 raised to power n. Just suppose in case of three variables, in case of three variables, total number of possible input combination for these variables will be 8. How we will write these 8 combinations? We can simply count from 0 to 2q minus 1, which is 7. So generally we will count the binary numbers from 0 to 8 minus 1 in order to find all the possible combinations, all the possible input combination for these three variables. Similarly, for n variables, there will be 2 raised to power n combinations. Also we can also say that for n boolean variables, there will be total 2 raised to power n minterms or maxterm possible. We have already seen this result also. Alternatively, we can also say that the truth table of n binary variable will have 2 raised to power n rows. So basically all these three statements, if there are n boolean variables, then all the possible combination of input combination for these n variables will be 2 raised to power n, or we can say that there are 2 raised to power n minterm or maxterm possible. Or if we write the truth table for n binary variables, then there will be 2 raised to power n rows. So clearly, if there are n variables, so there will be 2 raised to power n rows will be there in truth table. Corresponding to each row, we can assign here either 0 or 1 in order to find all the functions. What we can do, we can assign 0 here or 1, anything we can assign. So basically we have to fill 2 raised to power n. These are the, how many rows are there? These are the 2 raised to power n. These are 2 raised to power n rows. For corresponding to each input, we can either assign 0 or 1. So we have two choices. So we have to fill actually 2 raised to power n places with two choices. So the total number of functions will be 2 raised to power n. So we can this is the standard result. We can remember this, that if there are n variables, then total number of possible functions by using these n variables will be this. If n equal to 2, then what will be the total number of possible functions? N equal to 2. If n equal to 2, then total number of functions will be 2 raised to power 2 square, which is 2 raised to power 4, which is 16. So total 16 functions are possible with two variables. Similarly, we can proceed for any number of variables. Okay, so basically this is simple. We have already know this result, that what are the total number of functions possible with n boolean variables. Okay, so many times question will ask how many boolean functions are possible with three variables such that there are exactly 3 minterms. So for such type of questions, we can derive the we can derive the expression. So here in this question, it is given that we have to use three variables, and we we have to find the total number of boolean function possible that have exactly three minterms. So basically what we can do, so here there are three variables. So there will be total 2 raised to power 3, which is 8 minterms are possible. So we have to select the 3 minterms. So from these 8 minterms, in how many ways we can select the 3 minterms? We can make the function like this. We can select these 3 minterms and remaining we cannot select. So this is one possible combination. So how many total number of functions are possible with exactly 3 minterms, which we can simply write the answer from the 8 possible minterms. We have to select the 3 minterms. So this is the total number of functions possible. Okay, so there is another concept is neutral function. What is neutral function? So definition is simple. A boolean function is called a neutral function if it has equal number of ones and zeros in its truth table. Okay, so from the definition it is clear that the truth table of the function will have equal number of zeros and equal number of ones. Okay, so if suppose there are two variables, yes, there are two variables, so there will be 2 raised to power 2, which is 4. So there are 4 possible combinations for these variables. So we can define many functions by using these two variables. In order to define the neutral function, what we have to do, for the in the truth table we have to assign actually equal number of zeros and equal number of ones. So this function is the neutral function. Similarly here also equal number of zeros and equal number of ones. So this is also the neutral function. Here we have defined the function in such a way that here only 1 times 0 and 3 times 1. So this function is not the neutral function, do remember. So neutral function is basically those functions that have equal number of zeros and ones in their truth table. Alternatively, if we try to represent any neutral function in canonical forms, either in SOP or POS form, so what will happen? So there will be equal number of minterms. If we write it in SOP form, so we will use these ones. So we can say that neutral function will have equal number of minterms and maxterm. Okay, so loosely we can say that a neutral function will always have same number of minterms and maxterms. Okay, so whenever we write a neutral function in form of SOP, it will have the minterms, and in case if we try to write a neutral function in terms of POS, what will happen? We will use the maxterm. So whenever we write a neutral function in terms of minterm and maxterm, then these expression will have equal number of minterms and maxterm. Okay, so sometimes loosely we can say that neutral function will have same number of minterms and maxterm. So also we can find the total number of neutral function with n variables. So with n variables, what will happen? Total number of minterms are 2 raised to power n. From these 2 raised to power n minterms, we have to assign 1 for half of the minterms. For remaining half, what will happen? 0 will be automatically assigned. So from these 2 raised to power n minterms, we have to choose half of the main terms. So this is the expression for total number of neutral function that can be defined using n variables. Okay, so neutral function is a simple concept. Okay, so another type of function is self dual function. So what is self dual function? Okay, so definition is from the definition we can say that when a function is equal to its dual, then the function is called the self dual function. Okay, so this is the statement for self dual function. When a function is equal to its dual, then the function is called self dual function. Already we know that how to obtain a dual of a Boolean expression. We simply interchange OR and 0 and 1. In this way we can find the dual of any Boolean expression. Just suppose this is your Boolean expression, x plus 1 equal to 1. What will be the dual of this function? We will simply interchange OR and 0 and 1. So plus in case of plus we will use dot, and in place of 1 we will use this. So this is the dual, x dot 1 equal to x. So we can write x plus 0 equal to x. So these are the duals. This is the statement of consensus theorem. So corresponding to this theorem we can write the dual of this consensus theorem. Simply we will represent dot with plus, plus with dot, 0 and 1 we will interchange. So what is self dual function? So self dual functions are those functions where the dual of function will be equal to the same function. Consider this example, f of xyz equal to xy plus yz plus zx. Okay, so I will solve here. So this is the given function, f xyz equal to xy plus yz plus zx. So what will be the dual of this function? F dual of this function will be, what we have to do, we will simply interchange dot with plus and plus with dot and z plus x. So this will be the dual of this function. Now both the expression should be equal. If both the expression are equal, then we can say that this function is the self dual. So how we can prove that these two expressions are equal? So simply if we write here f equal to x y plus yz plus zx, we will try to write this expression in form of POS. So obviously we will use the distributive law. So we can write xy plus, we can take z common here, x plus y. Okay, now we will distribute this plus over this dot. Okay, so xy plus z, xy plus x plus y. Okay, further we will distribute this plus over this dot. So x plus z, y plus z, and we will distribute this plus over this dot. So we can write x plus y and y plus x plus y. Okay, so x plus x is nothing but x. So this term is x plus y. This term is also x plus y. There are two terms. X dot x will always give x. So simply we can write x plus z, y plus z, x plus y. So we have started from the definition of f and we try to convert into POS form. So which is actually the dual of this function. So clearly here f is equal to f of dual. So we can say that this function is self dual function. Okay, so here I have solved this question, given function, and then we can directly write the dual and then we will check whether f and its dual are equal or not. So we have taken f and then try to convert into POS form, and then we find that it is equivalent to its dual. So we can say that this function is self dual function. Okay. Okay, so now we will okay, so now we will identify few properties of self dual function. Just suppose this is our self dual function, f x y z equal to xy plus yz plus zx. So so we can write this function into canonical form. Okay, so how we can write this function into canonical form? We can either use the K-map or we can use the Boolean algebra. Which terms are missing? We can add these terms. So if we use the K-map, how we will represent this function into canonical form? So just suppose I am using K-map. So x y z, so this term will be xy and this will be the zx and this is the yz. So we can directly write the canonical form of this function here, summation m3567. Okay. Okay, uh, if if we want to use the Boolean algebra in order to convert this function into canonical form, so what we will do, f, this is the given function, here the term z is missing, so what we will do, z plus z dash we can multiply, plus here in this term x is missing, x plus x dash yz, and in this term y is missing. So in this way we can also convert this function into canonical form. I think this method is very easy, how to write any function into canonical form. This term is xy. We have already discussed how to draw any term on the K-map. Okay, so this is the xy, this is yz, corresponding to, we can count after finding all the terms, then we already know that 0 1 2 3, so this is the min term 3, here we have written 3 4 5 6 7, so this is 5 6 7, so we have included this. So so we have already know that this function is the self dual function, so we have written this self dual function into canonical form so that we can identify few properties of self dual function. So clearly a self dual function will always have equal number of minterms and maxterm. So there are three variables, so total number of minterms will be 2 raised to power 3, which is 8. So every self dual function will always have equal number of minterms whenever we write it in the form of SOP. Okay, so here 4 minterms are there. So basically we can say that every self dual function must be a neutral function. We already know the definition of neutral function. A neutral function will always have equal number of minterms and maxterms. Okay, so self dual function will always be the neutral function, because whenever you will find any self dual function, it will uh, have equal number of minterms and maxterm. Again also we have written this function into canonical form. So from canonical form we can also write the expression for this function. One important term is mutually exclusive term. Just suppose we have three variables x, y, z, and there are 2 raised to power 3, which is 8 minterms or maxterms are possible. Just suppose I am talking in terms of minterms. So if we take this minterm, which is x dash, y dash, z dash. Okay, so and if we look at this term x, y, z, so x, y, z is mutually exclusive with respect to this term x dash y dash z dash. So these two terms are called mutually exclusive terms to remember. So similarly we can identify for n variables. Okay, so uh, uh, if we find the mutual exclusive term, then min term 0 will be mutually exclusive to 7, 1. Min term 1 is mutually exclusive with respect to 6. 2 and 5 are mutually exclusive. 3 and 4 are mutually exclusive. Okay, so again the given function, this is the given function. So we have converted this function into canonical form, and then if we note that if this term is present, then its mutually exclusive term will be this. This is not present anywhere. Okay, so if this term is present, its mutually exclusive term is not there in this self dual function. So we can also say that a self dual function cannot have two mutually exclusive term. So one property we have seen that a self dual function will have equal number of minterms and maxterm. Okay, second property is a self dual function cannot have two mutually exclusive term. We have already know what is mutually exclusive term. Mutually exclusive term with respect to x, y, z is x dash, y dash, z dash. For x dash, y dash, z it is x, y, z dash. Similarly, we can identify the pairs of mutually exclusive term in case of n variables. Okay, so initially we have defined the self dual function as defined a self dual function as a function that is equal to its dual. Alternatively, we can define the self dual function in this manner. A function is self dual if it satisfies the following two conditions. It has number of minterms equal to number of maxterm. That means it must be the neutral function. Second condition is the function does not have two mutually exclusive terms. So if a function satisfies these two conditions, then that function is called the self dual function. If we will not use these two properties, what we have to do? We have to find the dual of the function and then check whether dual is equal to the function itself or not. Other way we can look. We can see that whether number of minterms and maxterms are equal or not, and then further we can also check the function does not have two mutually exclusive terms. So also if we try to find the number of self dual function, how we can find the expression for self dual functions, number of self dual function. Just suppose I am considering three variables. So total number of minterms will be 2 raised to power n, which is 2q, which is 8 minterms. Okay, so total number of minterms will be 8. So what is the first condition for self dual function? Number of minterms will equal to number of maxterms. So we can choose 4 minterms in order to find the self dual function. Also we have to satisfy this second condition. The function does not have two mutually exclusive terms. In case of three variables, so these two terms are mutually exclusive. These two terms are mutually exclusive. These two terms are mutually exclusive, and these two terms are mutually exclusive. So from 0 and 7 we can select one term. Okay, so there are two ways to select. Similarly, from 1 and 6 we can select any one of minterm. Okay, we cannot select both 1 and 6 because from the definition it is clear that a function is self-dual if it does not have two mutually exclusive terms. Okay, so from these pairs we can, so total number of pairs will be in case of three variables, these are the total pairs. From each pair we can select one term. So there are 2 raised to power 4, which is 16 possible self-dual function. Okay, so if we try to generalize, so for n variables, so what we can say that, so if there are n variables, so how many minterms will be there? 2 raised to power n. Okay, so from these 2 raised to power n minterms, how many pairs will be there? 2 raised to power n by 2, which is 2 raised to power n minus 1. Okay, so from these pairs we have option to select any one. Okay, so we have 2 into 2 and so on, 2 raised to power n minus 1 time. So this is the expression for total number of self-dual functions to remember. Okay, so we have identified 3 expressions. Okay, so initially we have identified total number of Boolean function, and then we have derived the expression for neutral functions, and then finally we have derived the expression for self-dual function with n variables. Okay. Okay, so in this question, which of the following functions can be self-dual? We have to identify which of the following functions can be self-dual. Okay, so from these 4 options we have to identify which of the following function is self-dual. For self-dual function, just suppose all functions are of 3 variables, so total number of minterms will be 2q, which is 8. Okay, so for self-dual function we can select any, so we can select half of the minterms, so we can select 4. Okay, so we can select 4 minterms. So clearly also in order to select the 4 minterms, we have to follow one thing, that from these pairs we can select only one minterm. Okay, so in this question, which of the following function can be self-dual? So self-dual function will have 4 minterms in order to be a neutral function, do remember. So एक option is having only 3 minterms, so it cannot be a self-dual function, do remember. Also these 3 options having 4 minterms, so they are candidate for self-dual. But for self-dual function, if we are selecting 0, then we cannot select the 7, so it cannot be the self-dual function. Similarly here, if we are selecting 7, we cannot select 0. If we are selecting 2, we cannot select the 5, so this is not the valid option. Also from 1 and 6 we can select 1. From 2 and 5 we have selected 2, 4, so this is the valid option. Okay, so this is the required answer for self-dual function, do remember. Okay, so another concept is, what is covering function? So we will formally define what is covering function, and then we will try to find out the number of covering functions for a given function. Okay, so a logic function of n variables, a logic function f covers a logic function p if for every input combination such that if p is 1, then f is also 1. In that case, we say that f covers the p. Just suppose there are two variables, so total 4 combinations will be there, input combinations will be there. If P is defined in such a way, so and F is defined in such a way that whenever P is 1, then F is also 1. When P is 0, we cannot say whether F is 1 or 0. Whenever P is 1, if P is 1, then F is 1. But we are not saying anything when what will happen when P is 0. In such case, what we can say that F covers P. Okay, so if we are saying F covers P, then we can also say that P implies F. So these two statements, F covers P and P implies F. F covers P and P implies F. Both statements are same. What is the meaning of these two statements? F covers P means F is 1 for every input combination for which P is 1, and maybe some more combinations. Okay, so whenever P is 1, F is 1, and F can also be 1 for other combinations. We cannot say, but whenever P is 1, F is also 1. So these two statements, F covers P is equivalent to P implies F. Okay, so if we write F covers P, this is the meaning. This is the meaning of F covers P or P implies F. Okay, so carefully use these two symbols. Whenever F covers P, then the set of minterms. Then if F covers P, then all the minterms of P are already present in F. That means whatever the minterms are present in P will already present in F. That's why we have used this symbol of superset in terms of set of minterms. We can write, so F covers P is equivalent to P implies F. Okay, so that is covering function. Okay, so that is also simple concept. Sometimes we also say that whenever F covers P, we also say F includes P. Both are same statement. F covers P, F includes P, both are equivalent to P implies F. Okay, so you have to remember the terminology carefully. Okay. Okay, so in this example, this function is given. This function is of two variable and it is written in canonical form. Okay, so how we have to find out how many functions cover this function. So there are two variables, so total 4 minterms are there. Okay, so F is 1 for M1, this minterm. So we have to find out how many functions cover this function. So what we can say that those functions which cover F will have 1 corresponding to this minterm, and for remaining position we can either have 0 or 1. So what are the remaining minterms? If this function has 1 minterm, total minterms are 4. So this function has 1 minterm, so remaining minterms are 3. So for the remaining position we can either place 0 or 1. So total number of functions will be 2 raised to power 3, which is 8. Okay. Also in this example, function is written in algebraic form, xy plus yz. So we can write this function into canonical form easily with the help of K-map. Why we are writing this function into canonical form? So that we can identify for which minterms this function is 1. Okay, so this function is 1 for these 3 minterms. Okay, so total number of minterms will be for 3 variables will be 8. So this function has 3 minterms, so remaining minterms are 5. So there are 5 places where we can put 0 or 1 in order to find the total number of function which covers f. So total number of functions are 2 raised to power 5, which is 32. So in this way we can also generalize this statement. Let p is a boolean function of n variable with k minterms. There are p is a boolean function of n variable with k minterms. Then total number of functions that cover p will be 2 raised to power n minus k. Okay, why we have written this? So total number of minterms are this for n variables. This function is having those many k minterms, so remaining minterms can be filled in these way. What we have done in these two examples, example 3, example 4 and example 5. So in this way we can generalize the statement. Okay, so that is all about counting the number of functions. Okay, thank you.